this, just to give you an example of how much the CPEN can help, when we need our reading supports and we're independently reading, we would do something, we would have a material like this. But when we're going to go to maybe say our out classes with a CPEN reader, we can go to this. So this allows a student to not only be inclusive in their out class by not having a parent to sit there and read it to them, but the CPEN has a headphone jack, so it's very discreet, and we can honestly be just like other students. We can go from, let's say, maybe a level 2 or 3 to grade level text. Many of our students comprehend much higher than we're able to read. The frustration comes from trying to do two things at once, whether you have decoding issues, or maybe dyslexia, or other reading disabilities. The CPEN takes a lot of that frustration out and allows a student to focus solely on the questions and the answers.
Okay, so tell me how you originally decided that this was something that you wanted to try.
So we have so many students on different levels, and we have many students that really want to be included in the gen ed classes. And a lot of the times what happens is when we're in a gen ed elective class and we have to do a test, say something like this. So we have to remove the students so this material can be read so as not to disturb the other students. But we've missed other things that are going on in the class. With the CPEN reader, guess what? We can stay in our class, be included, and it's also discreet. We don't feel discluded where we have to be in a separate group within the classroom. It's about inclusion, and it's about confidence and independence, that I can do things myself.
And have you had any barriers in using the pens?
Sometimes scanning, there's certain fonts that the pen might not pick up or have issues reading, and it misreads it. Depending, a student has to really work with the CPEN, because if you go too fast and end in the middle of a sentence, it's not going to make sense. So we have to be accurate. There's two settings on the CPEN, one that reads one sentence, or what many of the students are preferring is they scan like a paragraph and then play it and read it. So those would probably be the choices. If it's loud, even with the earbuds sometimes, can be kind of hard to hear.
And what about in selecting materials, or for teachers preparing materials for students who are using those kinds of supports? What would you recommend to them?
I would recommend using words or sentences like this. A lot of teachers tend to print out class notes with really flourishing fonts, and the font is really big. Anything that is a font like an 18 plus, the CPEN reader has a hard time reading it if the font is too big. Can't read it. So
Have there been any problems with contrast, like in the books? You know how sometimes text is over a different color instead of just plain white? Or
as far as we can tell, it's not usually the color of the text, it's the font.
Okay.
Font is huge, but being able to read a library book that's on grade level like everyone else, amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Anything else you want us to know?
just that if you were having some reservations about it, I would highly suggest that you at least give it a try for the independence of your students. Giving them independence to be able to do work, which is what we strive for as LIP teachers. Just give it a try. I know I was really hesitant about the CPENs. I was like, well, maybe it just will discourage them from reading on their own. But as far as the data shows and the results, it's actually progressed reading. So
Good. Okay. Thank you.